Our next speaker is going to be Marco McWilliams, who will be speaking from the Black Studies Academy of Rhode Island and be speaking to you about various different things going on with racial justice here in Rhode Island. Thank you. Marco?
Microphone tall. It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and support each other.
We must love and support each other.
We have nothing to lose but these chains.
We have nothing to lose but these chains.
We've been in this struggle for coming up on 500 years now. 500 long years, or 500 years too long.
Yes. Come on now.
Don't ask me to stand for a national anthem. I cannot stand for a national anthem as long as my people are in chains. As long as my people are in the chains of something called a prison industrial complex. I cannot stand for a national anthem as long as we are on settler colonized land that is not in some proper way repatriated to the people. I cannot stand so long as our children continue to attend dilapidated and underfunded schools. Every election year, you hear the politicians come up and they say something's got to change. We're going to have new leadership. Whether it's federal election, local election, it makes no difference. But change is going to have to start with us. We are here today to struggle against institutionalized, not racism, but white supremacy. We want to be very clear about that. And whether you're black, white, or candy stripe, if you've been standing on the sidelines, it's time to come off the sidelines because history is about to pass you by. When I say institutionalized racism, what do I mean? After the Civil War, the United States of America, I'm sorry about that, I be messing that up sometimes. Y'all have to forgive me, I'm doing my best up here, you know. Passed 3 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. Y'all seen that film, the 13th. What did that say? Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude shall exist within these United States or the territories wherein. That's Puerto Rico, by the way. That's Puerto Rico. Except that the party shall have been duly convicted of a crime. To be black in America is by default to be convicted of a crime. We know this. We don't need to see any more studies and reports. Every year, some institution, Stanford, Brown University, they release these studies. Like we don't already know this information. Like this is somehow new information. What did that amendment mean? It simply changed the status by which the police could capture people, by which the politicians could pass laws to criminalize people, by which the courts could convict people, and by which the prisons could hold people, and by which the schools could mentally colonize our children so that they would become sort of used to this domination and control by a structure. Now, you don't have to believe me today. Believe Ava DuVernay, she put the film out. Believe Asada Shakur, she wrote the book. We've been seeing these things. The reason we're uncomfortable today is because now in the White House, we see the things that look eerily familiar to us from history. We see these things and we say, why does this look familiar? Why does this language look familiar? Why does the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico right now remind us of Hurricane Katrina? We know why. And Dr. King reminded us. He said either you're going to be a tail light or you're going to be a headlight. It's time to stand up. It's time to speak up. It's time to find courage in all of the various capacities that you find your place. Maybe you wanted to get engaged in a movement, you wanted to join an organization, but you weren't quite sure what was the right fit. If you can't find the right fit, create the right fit. All around you now, there's tables set up, organizations all around that are working in this struggle at some level, on an institutional level. I don't care about people's personal ideas about racism and how they feel. It's not about you and your personal racism or the fact that you think you're not. We're fighting against the institutionalized structure, against systemic racial oppression. So we have to do our analyzing and our theory from that level. It's not about whether or not the individual police officer is a good person or not, whether they coach at their child's youth league. But when they put that uniform on, they're representative of the state. And they must be accountable to the people. I close with this. The people in power have abused that power so far as poor people and people of color are concerned. And it's time for us to make real systemic change. And it's not going to start at the State House. It's going to start right here with the person to your left and your right, in front of you and behind you. We know this, so let's move forward and do it. Power to all the people.